Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to the Daily Packers Post, where we provide in-depth coverage of your Green Bay Packers. Don't forget to check out thepackerspost.com for our written content as we take deep dives into the Packers each and every day. Real frustrating thing, and there were many in the Packers lost to the Chicago Bears on last Sunday. But one thing that was kind of a constant that really was disappointing is the fact that at key moments in the game, a game the Packers really easily could have and probably should have won, the Packers were outcoached by the Bears, who have an interim coaching staff, on all three phases of the game at key moments. We can start with special teams. We'll do this chronologically. The Chicago Bears used what is essentially a playground type maneuver on a punt return, faking out Rich Bisaccia and the Packers punt coverage teams. Daniel Whelan makes the kick. You have DJ Moore fake like he's going to catch the ball on one side. And for some reason, all of the Packers coverage went in that direction. And absolutely nobody, and I mean nobody, touched the punt return man who goes 94 yards for the first score of the game. And it just looked bad. I mean, that's a schoolyard thing. Okay. Let's not kid ourselves. That is a schoolyard kind of a play. And there is absolutely no reason that in week 18, when your team is essentially been gone through 16 prior games, you've been through training camp, 3 preseason games, you've basically been through an entire season's worth of practice. The fact that your team could fall for a play like that, and that Josh Blackwell could just be untouched into the end zone 94 yards, is just, quite frankly, embarrassing. And again, remember, the Packers end up losing this game by 2 points. And when you look at the statistics for this game, Green Bay was the superior team statistically on both sides of the ball. Packers outgained the Bears 367 to 224. They had 6 yards per play offensively to the Bears 3.9. There was no reason to lose this game on a really bad special teams gaffe. And, the punter, Daniel Whelan, knows what he's doing, and the team has to know which way he's punting the ball. And for everybody to overcommit on that fake was absolutely devastating for the Green Bay Packers in this game. And it really goes beyond just giving up one touchdown on that play, because what that touchdown did, the original game plan for the Packers in this game was to get an early lead, go up, 10, 14 points in the first half. And then all of a sudden in the second half, you could, sit some of your regulars. And we still saw them do that. Josh Jacobs didn't play much in the second half, if at all. Obviously, Jordan Love and Christian Watson got injured, so that doesn't count. But again, making a mistake like this ruined the game plan and the strategy that the team had going into this contest. And the Packers, while they did eventually get the lead back, it was a real it put a monkey wrench in their plans on several different levels. Now, the second part came on offense. And it really came in the last minute of the game. The Packers are facing a 4th down and 2 at this point at the Chicago Bears 35-yard line. So you're right on the lip of field goal range. It's 3rd and 2 at the 35. There's 1minute, 5 seconds left on the clock. You're down by, 22-21, and the Bears have 1 timeout left. Matt LaFleur calls a draw play to Emmanuel Wilson, trying to pick up the 2 yards. It not only doesn't get the 2 yards, you lose 2 yards. So you're back at the 37-yard line. The clock is running, and you have the decision of either kicking a field goal from 55 yards or going for it on 4th and 4. So what does Matt LaFleur do in this instance? He calls a timeout. Big mistake. And after the game, LaFleur himself admitted it was on him. He shouldn't have called timeout. He called timeout to make the decision as to whether or not to try the 55-yarder, whether or not Brandon McManus could make that long field goal for the win. McManus ended up making the field goal. But what the Packers should have done, if you're going to go for it, then you could take the timeout, but even then, just line up, call your play, 4th and 4. What are you going to do? If you're going to kick the field goal, let the clock run. Give the Bears a choice. Either they can let, up to 40 seconds run off the clock and run it down to about 20 seconds, give or take, or they can take their last timeout. And if the Bears take the timeout, then again, you can change your mind. You could take the time to decide, do I want to go for it? Do I want to try the field goal? All of these things were on the table, and yet LaFleur made a mistake, took the timeout, and saved the Bears both time and a timeout, which set them up for a much better chance of getting a shot at the winning field goal, which ultimately they were able to kick. And another curious thing in my mind that I didn't understand, the Packers had a timeout left at the end of the game. Cairo Santos is attempting the game-winning field goal from 51 yards out with 2 seconds left on the clock. They didn't use that last timeout to try to ice him, and that is something that I don't understand. They did that successfully in the first meeting between these two teams. They don't even attempt to ice Santos this time around. So that was certainly part of the equation. But then you have the defensive mistake, coaching-wise. There are 15 seconds left. The Bears have the ball 3rd and 11 at their own 49-yard line. They are out of timeouts at this point. NFL coaches basically estimate that it would be 12 seconds to run up to the line of scrimmage after you complete a pass and spike the ball so that you could stop the clock and get one more play off. In this case, obviously, it would be the game-winning field goal attempt by the Bears. So what happens? Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator, facing 3rd and 11. First of all, he plays 2 or 3 guys back like it was going to be a Hail Mary, not understanding that you can complete a pass, run up to the line of scrimmage, and probably spike the ball with 2, 3, 4 seconds left. It turned out that Bears did it with 3 seconds left. The other thing is that the Packers overemphasized the sideline, and I get it. You want to keep them in bounds. But because there were 15 seconds left and not 10 or 11 or 9, they still had time to complete a ball in the middle of the field, run up, spike the ball, and get a chance for the field goal. So in addition to not playing the middle of the field and covering it very well, they line up 3 guys very, very far back, and they play soft zone coverage with Carrington Valentine, one-on-one with DJ Moore, and Moore just goes to the vacant area in the middle of the field on a slant right over the middle and gains 18 yards on 3rd and 11, gets it to the Green Bay 33. You spike the ball, and then the Bears kick the winning field goal. This just wasn't good coaching, both on offense, defense, and special teams at key moments. And look, this game ended up not meaning anything because the fact is the Washington Commanders won. Even if the Packers would have beaten the Bears, they would still be the 7th seed. They would still be going to play Philadelphia. But you want to go into the playoffs with a little momentum, feeling better about yourselves, and instead you end up with some critical injuries and just careless, sloppy coaching, both on offense, defense, and special teams, all 3 facets of the game, and it ended up being very costly to the Green Bay Packers. You can't have that in the playoffs. Matt LaFleur has to go out and have a big coaching game in a big game. And we've got to see that on Sunday in Philadelphia if the Packers are going to have any chance to pull off the upset. We will continue to look ahead to that playoff game. We'll also have updates on Christian Watson and on the health of Jordan Love and a whole lot of other things. So make sure you check out thepackerspost.com all week long for in-depth daily coverage of your Packers. I'm Gil Martin. Thank you very much for listening to and watching thepackerspost.com. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and to like this video. Have a great day, stay safe, and go Pack Go.